Hi everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to share with you guys my story of how I found out I had kidney disease. So it was back in 2009. I was about 13 years old and I went to go get a school physical, and when I went to go get my school physical I had to do the urine part. Gave them my urine. I thought everything was going to come out normal, but it didn't. And I remember I was at home and my mom got a phone call from the doctor saying, hey, your daughter is leaking a ton of protein. She needs to go right away to the doctors down at Virginia Commonwealth University. She needs to see the nephrologist. So I remember we grabbed our stuff and we went. In our minds, we thought we were going to come home later on that day. It was just going to be an appointment, but it didn't turn out to be like that. So when we were at the hospital, we saw the nephrologist, and the nephrologist said, hey, you're leaking a ton of protein. We need you to have a kidney biopsy because we know you are slowly getting into kidney failure. So when he told me this, I was shocked. I didn't know, really what to think, what to say. Didn't know what questions to ask. I was not informed that well about the kidneys or even just anything. I didn't know about the BUN, the GFR, the creatinine. I was clueless when it came to the kidneys. And so I remember I got my kidney biopsy the next day, and I was there for a couple of weeks in the hospital. They had me there because when I got the kidney biopsy results, they said I had this disease called MPGN. I write the name down below because I don't know how to pronounce it, and it's a pretty long name. When he told me I had that disease, he began to treat me, and he treated me with 3 medicines, and it was Prograf, prednisone, and Cellcept. And I remember taking the prednisone for I took it for about a year, and I took the Prograf for a couple of months. So during my experience on Prograf, I took it regularly. I thought I was trusting everything to the doctors, that they knew what the right dosages to give me, and that they knew what they were doing, that this medicine was going to help my kidney function. But that wasn't the case. Sadly, the doctor misdiagnosed me, and my body was having an overdose on Prograf. So I remember one day, it was just a regular day, and I went downstairs. It was during summer, and my mom was downstairs cooking, and I was about to take my medicine because I kept a diary of my medicine. I took this pill at this time because the Prograf was a pill that I had to take exactly at 10 o'clock. So I remember I was writing it down, and I took my pill, and when I took the pill, I completely lost my eyesight. Everything just went black. I do remember seeing like stars, just like around, like not stars, but colorful sparks around. And I remember when I saw that, I immediately was like, Mom, I can't see. And I was like panicking. And I remember my mom grabbing me from behind. I wasn't able to see her, of course, but I felt her grabbing me from behind, and she immediately took me to the couch. I remember like parts of this because I was having a seizure. So when I was having a seizure, my mom, I don't know where she got this crazy idea from. It sounds dangerous, but it actually saved my life. She began to shove grapes down my throat. And when she began to shove grapes down my throat, I remember throwing up, just throwing up the medicine, little parts of it in my memory. I remember just gagging it out. It was disgusting. But I was throwing out the medicine, and my sister was upstairs. I think she was sleeping, and my mom was in the living room panicking, didn't know what to do. She was screaming for my sister's name, but my sister did not hear her at all. So she immediately went to my neighbor's house, and my neighbor grabbed the car. She had her son grab the car, and her and Miss Newbert, my neighbor, they grabbed me and they put me in the car and took me to Mary Washington Hospital. And we went there because that was the closest hospital here, and it was an emergency. But we usually go to Inova for everything. So at that time, I was seeing all my nephrologists down in VCU. But luckily, my mom was like, no, we're not taking her down to VCU because they were the ones that did this to her. They put her in this position of overdosing her on Prograf. So my mom insisted that they take me down to Children's Hospital in DC, in the ambulance because they didn't want to take me in the ambulance. They wanted to take me in a helicopter down to VCU because they said it was way too risky, that, you know, because I was still like, so I was having the seizures, and when I was at Mary Washington, I was like in a coma, I guess you could say, because I don't remember any of this. I remember only one part, and it's so irrelevant to, like, it was so irrelevant at the time. I don't know how I remembered that, but I guess I'll tell you guys. So my sister's friend, Austin, he bought me a shot glass because I actually collect shot glasses from New York. And I remember my sister said, "Hey Cindy, Austin's here. He brought you a shot glass." And I remember when I heard that, I like forced myself so hard to open my eyes just to see the shot glass. And I remember like my eyes were open like this little, and I was just able to see Katie standing right in front of my bed, but that was it. I don't remember anything after that. So, sorry, we got sidetracked it. Anyways, so they transferred me down to Children's Hospital in the ambulance, and I was there for about a month. I was in a coma for a couple of weeks, and when I was in a coma, like, I was in and out. So after I was like better, after I was better, they were like, "Hey, you know, I reviewed your case. You do not have MPGN. This doctor completely misdiagnosed you. You should have never been on Prograf. We need to have another kidney biopsy." So I was so exhausted by this time because I was already at that time my face was like really swollen. If you knew me, my face was like really like chipmunk cheeks, and I had to gain 20 pounds, and because I used to weigh 100 pounds, and then I went to 120 because of all the medicine I was on. And my body was just exhausted, but he said, "Hey, we need to have another kidney biopsy, and we need to find out what is happening, what you have." So I remember I got another kidney biopsy, and he said, "I'm sorry, but we weren't able to find out what caused your kidneys to start failing. But we do know that it's not PGN, and maybe you had an infection and it healed on its own, and that's what could be causing the kidneys to fail." So after that, he began to give me treatment. He took me off of the Prograf because I was bad. That was really bad. It was a miracle that I woke up with my... So after I woke up from, you know, just everything, the doctors were telling me that it was a miracle that I was alive, and it was a miracle that I could see again, because the Prograf, which is an anti-rejection medicine, actually caused all my swelling in my brain, which all the swelling was in this area. So they were like, you know, they thought my eyesight was going to be damaged and that I was going to wake up blind. But thankfully, God is good, and I could see perfectly. Well, I can't see perfectly. I still wear glasses, but you know what I mean. I have my eyesight. So I was on an anti-rejection medicine when I should have never been on that because I didn't have a transplant at the time. So those are, Prograf is usually given to people on a transplant. And prednisone, it's a steroid that, you know, helps with inflammation, helps with it can be used for many different illnesses. But for my case, I was using it for my kidneys to slow down, to maintain them in the state that they were in, because they didn't want me to, you know, have end-stage renal failure. So I continued with my medicine with the doctors, but I also continued with holistic healing on my own at home. I remember I used to wake up every day and my mom would make me blends of aloe vera and berries, which are really good for the kidneys. Berries are really antioxidant fruits that help with that. So I remember I used to take that every single day, and I was seeing a lot of progress in my kidneys and just everything. I wasn't as swollen. I was slowly going back to my normal body. So as I started to see results, after a couple months of seeing great results, my doctor slowly started to take me off of prednisone. And so after the doctors gave me a little bit of okay, I kind of just took it and ran with it. And I didn't realize how important it was to take care of myself and watch my diet. And I was just so used to, you know, what I was going through with my you know, body and because some symptoms I had were puffy eyes and just really minor symptoms, but symptoms that, you know, I just became so accustomed to that I thought it was normal. So I kind of just thought that I was okay. I thought everything was going to be, you know, fine, and that the kidney stuff was just something in the past that I didn't have to worry about it. So what I really want to express to you guys and share with you guys is that it's really important to get informed. If you're going through any type of illness, not just kidney disease, to get informed, ask questions, really study and find out what that disease is about, because like me, you know, I didn't do that. I didn't have somebody to tell me, hey, you know, you should look into it, you should ask questions, because I went into it completely blind and I trusted the doctors. And that's not the case for everybody. You can't just trust the doctors all the time. You know, yes, they're there to help, but sometimes you have to see what you can do to help yourself. So it's really important to get informed, you know, I can't stress it enough, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, anything about, you know, what you're going through. Because, you know, if you get more informed, you're like, hey, okay, I know my kidneys filter things. Let me not drink stuff. Let me not eat certain things, because I know my kidneys are going to work harder if I do eat that. So you just have to be really mindful, you know, of how you take care of yourself and how you proceed your healing process with your doctors and with yourself. So guys, this is just the first part of my story. I'm going to be sharing my second part in another video, just basically of how I got to dialysis and my pregnancy. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. Bye.